Okay, so a new challenger has just stepped into the ring. And this isn't just another shiny gadget. This is a full-on power move from Samsung, Google, and Qualcomm. The codename? Project MUHAN. Some people who've already tried it say it's not just competing with Apple's Vision Pro, it might already be way ahead. Yeah, a challenger appears, and this could change the future of reality itself.
Okay, so a new challenger has just stepped into the ring, and we're talking about a massive team up here between two of the biggest names in tech. This is a huge deal for the future of, well, reality itself.
Let's dive right into this quote because it's a big one. We're talking about a top-secret headset from Samsung and Google. The code name? Project MUHAN. And get this, it's already making huge waves before anyone's really seen it. Some people who've tried it are saying it's already jumped way ahead of the competition.
So yeah, a challenger appears. And you gotta understand, this isn't just another shiny new gadget. Oh no, this is a full-on strategic move. You've got Samsung, Google, and Qualcomm all teaming up. Their target? Apple's super high-end Vision Pro. But here's the kicker. They're not just copying Apple, they're coming at this with a totally different game plan.
Okay, so what are people saying who've actually tried this thing? Well, it sounds like Samsung and Google were paying really close attention to where Apple kind of stumbled. I mean, the Vision Pro is an incredible piece of tech, no doubt, but almost everyone who's used it for a while talks about how heavy and uncomfortable it can get. Project MUHAN seems to tackle that problem head-on, focusing on things like, actually being able to wear it for more than 30 minutes.
And it's the little things, right? The small hardware decisions that make a huge difference. Like that strap. It's apparently like the one on the Quest Pro, which means it rests on your forehead instead of squishing your face. Huge win. And a standard USB-C cable? Thank you. That means you can plug in any old power bank, not some special proprietary thing. And I love this. Removable light blockers, so you can go full-on VR immersion, or you can pop them off and still see what's happening around you. Smart.
All right, so to really get why this new headset is such a big deal, we kind of need to step back for a second. Let's look at the bigger picture here. The whole extended reality market, well, it's been kind of stuck for a while now, hasn't it? Let's talk about why.
Right now, the XR world is basically split into these two giant camps. You've got Apple over here with Vision OS, and then you have Meta with Horizon OS. And don't get me wrong, they're both super powerful, but they're what we call walled gardens. Once you're in, you're in. Your apps don't work on the other guy's headset, developers have to pick a side, it's a total mess.
And you know what? This isn't the first time we've seen this movie. If we rewind all the way back to 2016, look at this chart. The mobile VR market was sliced almost perfectly in half between Samsung's Gear VR and Google Cardboard. And what happened? That split, that fragmentation, it just slowed everything down for everybody.
And that really brings us to the heart of the problem, right? This is what research from places like Atlantis Press has been pointing out for years. These are the big roadblocks for VR going mainstream. First, the cost. These things are expensive. Then, comfort. People just don't want to wear them for long. Then you have all the compatibility headaches. And maybe the biggest one of all, where's the killer app? Where's the stuff you have to have?
I mean, look at the Vision Pro. Apple threw everything they had at it, and it's an incredible piece of engineering. But at $3,500, as this quote puts it pretty bluntly, it was just too much money. Apple fans got excited, and then they saw the price tag and lost interest. It just goes to show, it doesn't matter how good the tech is if nobody can afford it.
Okay, so if fragmentation and walled gardens are the problem, what's the solution? Well, for Google and Samsung, the answer isn't to try and build an even bigger, better wall. Their whole philosophy is about tearing the walls down completely.
And at the core of this whole thing is something called Android XR. Now, it's a totally new operating system, but it's built on a foundation we all know, Android. The whole idea here is to make it open and modular. Think of it like a single, unified platform that any company, not just Samsung, can build a headset for.
And the difference in approach here is just night and day. You've got Apple's walled garden on one side. It's their headset, their software, their rules, period. On the other side, you've got what Google is calling an open playground. They're saying to developers, hey, use the tools you already know, like Unity, and don't just build for one headset, build for a whole ecosystem of them. That's a game changer.
And the benefit of that is, well, it's huge. Right out of the box, any headset running this new Android XR will have access to the entire Google Play Store. Think about that. All those apps, all those games, available on day one. That basically solves the what do I do with this thing problem right away. It makes it so much easier for people to jump in.
But hold on, because an open operating system, that's only part of the story. There's a secret weapon here, the real game changer. The one thing that could set this whole platform light years ahead. And that's how deeply it's integrated with AI. So let's ask the big question. What's the killer feature? What's the one thing that's going to make somebody look at the super polished, beautiful Apple Vision Pro and say, you know what, I'm going to go with this other thing instead? What's the advantage? The answer, in one word, is AI. Seriously, the Vision Pro is powerful, but it doesn't really have any meaningful AI features baked in. Android XR, on the other hand, is being built from the ground up for the AI era, specifically for Google's Gemini. The AI isn't just an app you open, it's like the nervous system of the whole OS. So what does that actually mean? Well, imagine your virtual workspace is a total mess with windows everywhere. You could just say, hey Gemini, organize these windows for me, and poof, it does. Or find me the nearest coffee shop in Google Maps, and it doesn't just give you a link, it actually opens maps and navigates for you. It's like having a co-pilot for your entire computer. And listen, this isn't just some cool-sounding gimmick. Tech reviewer MKBHD got to try this out, and he pointed out something really important. All that pinching and pointing you do in VR, it gets tiring. Your arm gets sore. He said that being able to just talk to the headset and have it do things for you was surprisingly one of the most useful features he saw. It's a real quality of life improvement. So, let's put it all together. You've got a design that's actually comfortable. You have an open OS with tons of apps, and you have a powerful AI assistant baked right in. The big question is this it? Is this the moment that XR finally breaks through to the mainstream? Well, to figure that out, we need to look at what happens next. Now let's be clear, Samsung is no stranger to VR. A lot of us remember the Gear VR from back in 2015. It was one of the first big attempts to make VR mainstream. But this is different. This team up with Google and Qualcomm is way more ambitious. It feels like they've taken almost a decade of lessons, not just their own, but the whole industry's, and are putting them all into this one big push.
All right, let's talk numbers, because this is where the rubber meets the road. It really comes down to price and strategy. The Samsung headset is rumored to be somewhere in the $1,500 to $2,000 range. I mean, that's still a lot of money, but it's way, way less than the Vision Pro. But here's the catch. It looks like they're not making very many of them, at least at first. This suggests they're playing it a bit safe with a more focused launch.
And the crazy part is, we might not have to wait much longer to see this thing in the wild. The rumors are flying, pointing to pre-orders opening up around October 15th, with the actual launch happening maybe a week after that. It looks like the plan is to launch in their home country, South Korea, first, and then, if all goes well, roll it out to the rest of the world. So this all brings us back to that one massive question. We've seen so many false starts in this space, right? So many cool devices that just ended up being for hardcore enthusiasts. But now we have a totally new playbook. Is this it? Is this combination of an open platform, a more accessible price, and a truly useful AI, is that the magic formula that finally makes XR a thing for everyone? All the pieces are definitely on the board for a huge shift in how this all plays out. You can bet we'll be watching this one very, very closely to see if this new team-up can finally deliver on that big promise, building the future of reality, not just for the early adopters, but for all of us.
So here's the question. After years of false starts in XR, could this finally be the moment it all breaks into the mainstream? With comfort, AI, and an open ecosystem, Samsung and Google just might have cracked the code. The battle for the future of reality is only just beginning.